Hi, everybody. I'm Jen, and today we are going to be talking about the questions you need to ask yourself before you order. Ordering a new year of Sunlight Materials is super exciting. There have been 20 plus years where, I planned it out for weeks and, had all my lists and, everything ready to go. And it's a really big commitment. And, it's a really big financial decision. And, and you want to order the right thing because this is what we have to use for a year and. Okay. So, when people come to me with ordering questions, what should I order? Is this worth it? About different specific parts of the curriculum. I usually answer with questions back to them. So here is kind of the pre-ordering list of questions to think about to help you figure out what you need, what you don't need, etc. Okay, so question number 1. Are we homeschooling next year? Because if you're not homeschooling next year, or if you're not sure you're not homeschooling next year, it might not be time to order yet, or maybe you don't need anything. Okay. Number 2, what is working? What are we doing that is working fantastically well? For me, just as an example, your mileage may vary. For me, what usually was working just amazingly well, and I would not change one single thing, was the HBL. We used HBL just one after another in order all the way from like kindergarten through high school. No regrets, no changes, no nothing. We just did the next thing. I just fell in love with the whole HBL system to the point that I did not ever want to change that. So first thing I knew I was ordering was the next HBL. For you, that might be different, but whatever is working fantastically well, order the next one. What is not working? That's the next question you want to ask yourself. So what is not working? We had a couple of years where like the language arts that we were using was not meshing with what a kid needed. So we had to sometimes switch up some bits in there. My daughter got to a point where she didn't love the science that we were using and just wanted to switch to something that was had some different factors. And so we ended up just kind of mixing up some levels. But whatever is not working, then you need to decide what you want it to do. So I had one child, for example, for whom the spelling in Sunlight Language Arts was not enough. She needed a specialty spelling program. And so there were 2 years that we added in specialty extra spelling. I had some other kids for whom that wasn't really necessary, and the spelling in the Sunlight Language Arts was totally adequate, and they did not need anything else. So ask yourself, how's it going? How do you like your math? Are we just ordering the next thing? Do we need to change something up? Because if it's going really well, we don't generally think to change something up. Just do the next thing. Is it time to add something different? Is it time to add something additional? Is this the year that you are adding a supplemental grammar? You don't have to, but you can. How about phonics? Explode the Code, my kid's favorite, but we didn't use it every single year. Sometimes we needed it, sometimes we don't. So look at what's going on in your house. Does somebody need something supplemented? Is it time to add a foreign language? Is it time to add, a lap book or a hands-on history kit? Is it time to add, spelling? Maybe not. Maybe you don't need to. Just because I had a kid who needed that doesn't mean you will need to. But it's a question to ask. How are we doing? Am I satisfied with all of these parts? If not, that's where you start questioning, what do I need to do differently? For things that are working, we do not change them. Changing curriculum that is working well is like waking a sleeping baby. You can, but why? Okay, next question. Are we adding any new kids? Are we graduating any old kids? Who are we shopping for? Do we know? Because like when I added, subsequent children, my kids are all 3 and 4 years apart. So I never really could combine anybody. And I'm really, really jealous of all of you who get to just combine a whole bunch of kids in one HBL, because that is so efficient. But I never could. So when I added another kid, I did not always have to buy a ton of stuff, because I had that HBL hanging around waiting for the next kid. But I did need to buy math, handwriting, make sure we had what we needed for language arts, etc., as we added new kids into the mix. So those of you who still have young kids, is it time to add the next one? And what do you already have? And then what do you need to order for that new kid? For those of you who are facing high school, I like to work backwards in high school. We get a lot of questions about what do I need? So working backwards looks like this. What are the graduation requirements where you are? Every state is different. Every state's homeschool laws are different. Every state's local college expectations are different. I found that colleges in my area expected the local public school requirements to be met. Now, that might not be how people in another state necessarily do it exactly, but the colleges around here expect those things because that's what public school students around here do. So we made a list of graduation requirements ahead of time, and then as we went through high school, we kind of ticked things off the list. What do we need to include? What do we need to include? So if you are in a high school situation, do you know what you need to do before graduation? Do you know what your kid has to complete? And what of those things is going to happen next year? And knowing that what needs to happen next year, what do you need to order? So that is my work backwards in high school advice. And have that clear before you order so that you don't, miss anything so that you know what you need to pick up. Okay. The last question I like to ask myself is, what would be fun? Because ordering is a really big job, and homeschooling is a really big job, and doing all the things that have to be done and need to be done and we're required to do is a really big job. But I like to pick up a thing or two for my kids every year that was fun. I had one that really, really loved those Dover coloring books. They have stained glass coloring books, and they have the historical era coloring books. And I know Sunlight carries or used to carry. I don't know. Check, because those coloring books are fantastic if Sunlight still offers them. I had one who liked to build, and so we sometimes invested in Lego kits for building things that we were going to be learning about. Whatever your kids think would be fun. For some kids, that might be a new cookbook. For some kids, it might be new Legos. For some kids, it might be, something out of the elective section that's about music or art or new pencils. Or I had one who really liked new erasers, specialty, fancy erasers. So whatever would be super fun and enjoyable for your kids as a little treat in their box day box, put that on your list. It doesn't have to be a ton of stuff, but we really liked putting something in so that the kids knew that homeschooling was going to be fun and they had things to look forward to, and it just wasn't all mom said we have to kind of stuff. So with these questions answered, you can go into the kind of spring season with a list so that you're not making last minute decisions because you hear about a big sale. a lot of times in the spring, Sunlight has special offers, and the catalogs switch at some point. I have not heard the official announcements as to the dates of those, but I mean, the new catalog is online. It's ready to download. And so there will be a date when they switch over. And so as sales and offers are announced, if you have your list ready and you have all those decisions made, then you're ready when you figure out what would be the best offer for you and what would be the best time for you to order. If you have questions about, should I do this language arts or that language arts? What does this come with? Do I need the required resources? Am I going to get a timeline, or do I have to add that? You could always ask on the app. We're happy to help you with all those little details. We're happy to offer advice as to what level or what would be, best suited to my kids, or what should we do next. We love to talk curriculum. You will not be surprised to hear. Also, the advisors are available on sunlight.com, and they are super, super helpful. Our advisors are just simply the best. So feel free to reach out to them if you have specific ordering questions, or if you want them to look at your order and make sure that you have everything that you say you need. And then as you're looking at different offers, don't forget that there's usually a discount involved in buying an entire package, and that usually that's going to cut off your shipping fees also. And so if you're going to order in tiny pieces, you're going to have to figure in shipping, which is a big bummer. So anyway, if you have questions, or there's something that you would like help with before you have your order all set up, feel free to ask us on the app. We love to talk curriculum, and we will be happy to help you. So it's almost time. Get ready. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.